a minute early.
Uh-oh.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Wait a minute. Let me turn you up. I can't hear you. Okay.
I'm great, thanks.
Oh, good, good, good. Ah, I love that background. I love those flowers or
Thank
those
you.
leaves. It reminds me of
Yeah.
the fall. Yeah. Well, y'all going to the Super Bowl? How about
Yep.
that? Now, do y'all have a mantra? Do y'all say something about your team? What's
If they did have a mantra, I wouldn't be able to repeat it. People in Philly are vile.
well, I
These
enjoyed
people.
my time in Philly, so I don't know if I ran across the Val folks, but
Oh,
I
well,
saw a lot of the sports people though because
the sports people are it's a whole nother
it
level.
was they were everywhere. It was like wow, they were doing their thing. I was like, okay, Philly, come on out, Philly. So I can only imagine um this time of the year. So congratulations to y'all advance. And I was like, yay, should have been us, but here we are. But they had a
Speaking of this,
great run. So I'm still proud of
but,
my boys.
but speaking of the Super Bowl, did you see the article where it said that the average couple going to the Super Bowl is going to spend $18,000?
The money is residing with the sports.
That's crazy.
All of that. I was like, no. I will have on the gear that I already own. Nobody is doing all of that. I know I read some other article, um, or no, it was a post, but I'm assuming he got it from an article. It was a post that I saw about the amount of money that was spent um, over the holidays, and it was astronomical. I'll say that, and um, Amazon cashed out all day, every day.
Mhm.
I was like, wow, wow, wow. Okay, well, let's go ahead and I guess get
Okay.
this party started. Welcome, welcome everybody. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Shay. Hi, Ebony. Um, welcome. Oh, wait, I'm sharing a banner on it. Let me stop the banner. Stop the banner. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody to our Saturday morning tea, where we discuss health information, news, education, certification tips, entrepreneurship, them nurses, and all the things. I'm Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, the founder and education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And do you know what it takes to be a certified marketable, emphasis, medical coder? Well, before I introduce my co-host, let me share with you the information on a free 99 email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start? And scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. All right, all right. Now, if you are in Clubhouse and you are interested in getting more information on the free 99 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder email course, then you can click the link at the top of the club or the house or the room or whatever. If you are on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, welcome. And you can check out the video description for the link. Trust me, it's down
Clarice,
there.
Ebony is saying the volume is low.
For me, or
She
period.
did. Ebony, it put in the chat. Is it period or just one of us or both of us? Oh, the video.
Oh, okay.
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 All right, so just click on the link for more info.
Amen.
Ebony.
Amen. Okay. So let's see. Joining me today, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and take a moment to tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia. I've been a nurse for quite a while. I transitioned away from the bedside in 2014 and I got into risk adjustment coding. Then, during the pandemic, I created a company called the Coding Nurse LLC, where I help other nurses and other professionals who have clinical experience transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
And isn't it a wonderful world? It's a
It
wonderful world.
is,
A
and
wonderful world.
it's so big.
It's so big. There are just things out there in the world, Mr. Jesse, they have something new on StreamYard handles where you can add an additional handle. So if you have something that you want to add, it'll sit right below your name. I don't know if
Okay.
you saw that, but that's what that's for. So you can put
All
anything
right.
there. As you
Okay.
see, I have the
Yes.
at PRN, and I got the Cash App. So if anybody want to bless the old
Okay.
girl, feel free to bless. Um, Good morning, Vicky. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So for those of you that are in Clubhouse and you want to join in and add to the conversation, please raise your hand. We love the interaction, so come on up to the stage. Let's talk. If you are new to Clubhouse and have never been on the stage, then here's a training opportunity for you to learn and see what the other side looks like.
We
For
had lively discussion last week.
Oh, we did, didn't we though? Didn't we though? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Your opinion matters, and of course, is welcomed here. For my Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn friends, you know what to do. You use the chat. If you have a question, please make sure you put a Q in front of it so that we know it's an actual question for us, and just so that we don't miss it. And just not part of the dialogue, even though we post it all. I show it all. So I guess we need to go on and get into it. So for those who are joining us today or on the replay, we are talking about real versus fake nurses and all of the drama that has come with it. So,
Oh my God.
Mr. Jesse, I'll let you introduce our topic and take us where we need to go. I do have I got some of the screenshots from, because I also had the Department of Justice link in my notes. So I was going to show that because I like those little infographics that they had on there.
Hmm.
So okay.
So this story has taken the nursing profession by storm. And also, before I start, Clarice, I think that there are going to be some people found in HIM who have fake nursing degrees because it's the easiest thing. If you don't have any clinical skills, don't work places where you don't have to have any clinical skills.
Exactly. And for all of
So
those uh CDI positions,
thank you.
they coming for you. So it is all relative. It's not like it's just
Yes.
about nursing on its own. Clinical, it's relative to us as well. So, or relevant for us as well.
Right.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the article was titled Operation Nightingale, and traditionally everybody acknowledges Florence Nightingale, but since this is the first Saturday of Black History Month, and I am a Black nurse, most Black nurses acknowledge Mary Eliza Mahoney.
You better give us some Black history for the day. I love it. Okay.
Mary Eliza Mahoney was born during slavery in Massachusetts. She is the first professionally trained and licensed Black nurse in the United States. So all Black nurses always speak her name. And to our Caribbean diaspora, we also recognize Mary Seacole, who was a British and Jamaican Black nurse. She is known as the first Black nurse, the first nurse practitioner. because
Okay.
she functioned as a nurse practitioner during I think World War I.
Okay. Well, look at here. Hey,
So
the tea spilled in the first 10 minutes. Okay, let me
yes.
see. I think I can show her. I found a picture of
Okay.
her. Okay, it would be nice
Both
to
of them, they
put.
have pictures on Wikipedia for both of them.
Okay, that is nice. All
Hmm.
right. Good morning, Jessica. Welcome. Glad you are here with us. This is great. I learned something new today before we
Yep.
even needed to learn something new. Okay.
So get into the story. And there was an investigation that was launched. The scheme started in 2016, so it went from 2016 to 2021. Um, in Florida, there were three accredited nursing programs. These nursing programs decided to, I guess, make money by becoming fraudulent and selling degrees.
Mm,
So between $10,000 and $17,000, I believe it was 10,000 for an LPN diploma and 17,000 for an RN diploma. If you paid that fee, the school would submit your documentation to the state board of nursing, because in order to take the nursing exam, you have to attend an accredited school. So when your school submits paperwork to that board of nursing, they'll say, okay, this is an accredited school, this person did complete the requirements, and they're okay to take the state board, because otherwise you can't.
mm-hmm.
So these people went on. So they estimate that 77,600 people were awarded diplomas through the scheme, and they approximate that 2,800 actually passed the board exam and are working as nurses throughout the country. So that once that came out, I mean, all heck broke loose, literally and figuratively. And I have to say, as a nurse, like working with fraudulent nurses is not new. Like honestly, I worked with a fake nurse in the 90s. But the difference is it was always people who would steal somebody else's identity or another person's license because they had a similar name. This
Mm,
is the first time that it was a scheme where a school actually sold information that we know of on such a large scale. And what they did was they would tell people which states to go and apply for licensure initially,
mm.
because there are some states, Pennsylvania, New York, I think Alabama, and a few others, they have unlimited NCLEX attempts. Some states cap the number. Like they say, like if you fail 3 times, you have to take a refresher course. But
Mm.
some states you can take it as many times as you need to pass. So these states are slowly but surely starting to find out who these nurses are. And the state with the most offenders, I'm like, well, how did they get all the way out there? Is Washington State, which is
Wow.
crazy. And this is Washington. They have 150 nursing applicants using credentials from the alleged scheme. So to date, it says 4 applicants were denied, 62 are in legal limbo, 77 have their licenses under investigation, and 7 so far have had their licenses rescinded. In Georgia, there were 22 fraudulent nurses, and Georgia went a step farther. They even have a page. They have a link on their web page where you can go, and actually it's called Imposter Nurses. It actually has their pictures, their names, and everything.
Oh, for
Oh
real.
yes,
Wow.
yes. Georgia is like, because what they did was they said that they contacted them first and asked them to rescind their licenses. So far, nobody has done it. So I guess they're like, oh, we're gonna put you on blast now.
Really? Real? Oh, yeah. I see in the article it says ask 22 to surrender theirs.
Hmm.
Wow.
And Delaware has has annulled 26 licenses so far.
Mm, wow.
And as a side note, this is just a personal story. When I applied, like my job back in the 90s was looking to expand into Delaware and New Jersey. So they paid for our initial licenses, whoever was interested in New Jersey and in Delaware. So
Hmm.
of course I'm like, it's free, I'm gonna do it.
Hmm.
So Delaware, I don't know what happened, I don't know how they got necked up, but Delaware, I'm an LPN. Delaware sent me a registered nurse license. So me, I called them because of things just like this. You never know how things come out. You never know
Exactly.
what's going to happen to cause them to go back through
That's
because
right.
it is illegal. Even though I am a licensed LPN, it is illegal for me to use the initials RN because I'm not. I don't have an RN license. I have an LPN license. And people forget that it's all kind of legal issues involved with using certain credentials, especially in healthcare. So it has been, I mean, I've never seen so much fervor in I mean, Nurse TikTok was crazy. And everybody kept coming forward talking about how they worked with nurses who didn't know the generic name for Tylenol, like acetaminophen. I mean, who doesn't
What?
know that? Yeah,
Everybody should know that.
exactly.
Even oh my goodness. And then you wonder why. But then so when you're working with nurses that you and it, either individually or collectively have deemed something's not right or incompetent or just not up to par, do you as an organization or an entity report them? Do of course hopefully you fire them or have conversations and determine, what's what, but or do you be like, oh, I just don't want to work with her and I'll try to work on a different shift, or I'll, or I mean, how does that normally work? Do you know?
What happens is when they don't know something, they will either ask, they'll say, because there's actually a story of a nurse who is, I think she's awaiting sentencing, and that's what they do. She said that if there was something she didn't know how to do, she would just say, I'm a new nurse. Can you show me how to do X, Y, Z? And
Wow.
nurses love to show people things. So they're like, okay,
Yes, they do. They do. So yeah, the Department of or the OIG posted all of the deets on their website regarding Operation Nightingale. Um they listed the 5 states, but that's interesting that they're digging deeper into Georgia. That's because that's, I guess, where the folks some of the folks have run. But you would think they're probably nationwide at this point.
oh, Ash, they are. Because what happens is once you are licensed, once you pass your NCLEX, now it used to be different, but now once you pass your NCLEX, you never have to take it again.
Mm,
And to get a license in another state, before you would just apply individually to whatever state you want to work in, but now they have something called a multi-state license. So if your state is in the nurse compact, you can get a license in one state, you can pass exam in one state, then you can get a multi-state license, which will allow you to work in, I think right now it's up to like 49 other states with no additional license. So these people can literally be anywhere at this point.
and then with all the bonus money that that came about to hire nurses, with all the traveling nurse money that came
Yep.
out that was higher. What, this is huge, huge, huge. um I did also find, so this was kind of like the whole scheme. So the recruiters help aspiring nurses obtain fake nursing degree diplomas and transcripts from, and they were accredited,
Yep.
Florida-based nursing schools. And then the aspiring nurses who acquired the bogus diplomas and transcripts used them to qualify for the National Nursing Board exam. Upon successful completion of the board exam, the aspiring nurses became eligible to obtain licensure in various states. And then once they were licensed, the aspiring nurses were able to obtain employment in the healthcare field, not just nursing, but also over in health information now. So you done got me all ruffled up now.
See?
Related to that. I did also find, let's see, I also saw a response from the nursing. There's a nursing, who are they? There's a nursing, the National Council of State Board of Nursing, their statement on Operation Nightingale. And they're applauding the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the OIG, FBI, and Justice Department for their important work on Operation Nightingale. Say the investigation focused on nursing education programs that were allegedly involved in the sale of false and fraudulent nursing education credentials. With public safety and welfare as a top concern, NCSBN and our member nursing regulatory bodies partnered with federal and state authorities, helping to identify and monitor individuals who allegedly provided these illegitimate transcripts and credentials that could potentially undermine safe patient care. Nursing regulatory bodies in affected states have been investigating individual cases and are taking appropriate action in accordance with their state laws and due process. That includes loss of license. As the world leader in nursing regulatory knowledge, NCSBN is dedicated to protecting the public and will continue to support our member nursing regulatory bodies as they thoroughly investigate each case, taking the necessary actions to ensure public safety and root out the fraud involved in this case. What about the other cases? Let me stop. NCSBN is committed to helping our members identify any additional safeguards and solutions that are needed. This situation speaks to the importance of nursing regulation and the collective duty to protect the public. NCSBN will continue working with all appropriate nursing regulatory bodies, nursing education program providers, accreditation bodies, and authorities to detect, investigate, and resolve these matters today and into the future. And so that was their statement regarding this. You know where I'm going next, right? Because I need to see, somebody else needs to have a statement. I don't know if they got it, but I'm gonna be looking and checking for it and asking about it. Hey, is anybody checking for nursing licensure when they come over on this side of the world? I mean, yeah, you don't have direct clinical patient care. However, you're using the license that you bogusly, erroneously, fraudulently obtained to obtain this position in CDI. And I don't know. I mean, and there could be other areas as well. Quality and
It is.
all kinds of stuff. Auditing and just all of the things.
I've had 3 non-CDI roles that you had to have a coding credential and a nursing license. So there's other areas out there. And I know all they do is just check to see that it's active. They don't check to see where you went to school.
Oh,
All they do is verify that you have one. And they just go, you can just do like a website check. So the thing is, the difference with this is these are legitimate licenses, but they were obtained fraudulently. So when you do,
Go ahead.
So when you do a check, it's going to come up that yes, this person is active, and it'll tell. If you dig a little further, it'll tell whether it's original, if it's initial licensure by exam, or is it by endorsement, is it multi-state. So that's all it's going to tell you. But the board has to dig deeper into how you obtained your education, not the employer. So that's where it's going to get sticky.
Well, so from let me put on my compliance hat. From a compliance perspective, we are also required to check for any issues, because we have to look for exclusions and all of those types of things. So I would think that this would be something to include even though it's just based on this national case, but it's broad enough, it's wide enough that it could affect anybody, to add that to the list where you're checking. So make sure with um your nurses, because we check providers, we check nurses, we check them all, to make sure that everything was everything. Because if you are receiving federal funds, you are obligated to make sure that, one, they're not um, on the exclusion, their licenses are what they say they are, they're intact, in order for them to carry out, and they're working within their scope of practice. So this may be something that, even from a compliance perspective, they need to probably add to their list, to double down and double check to make sure that they don't have folks that are operating under a fraudulent license.
This is going to be a far-reaching situation. I mean, it's people just think, oh, it's just nursing, but it's going to seep into other. We're going to see just how far and how deep this goes. But what I think the public needs to pay attention to is, what is interesting is the government, OIG, the department, the Justice Department, said that none of these nurses are going to be federally prosecuted. And people have to really ask yourself, well, why?
Because it was a crime.
Right. But the real reason they don't want to is because they're going to open up the healthcare system to so many lawsuits that it would collapse. Because if they put these people on trial, then it becomes public information.
Yeah.
Now their name is public, but not their identity.
Correct.
But when you put somebody, or because you can public information, that's why you can just Google anybody's license, but you can't see their face.
Correct.
Once that becomes public, somebody's going to say, oh my God, that was a nurse who took care of my mother and she expired. Or they took care of me and I had a complication when I was in the hospital. I'm going to sue.
I wonder who else could put it. I mean, even the payer world could be like, wait a minute. You had somebody who was operating in a in a illegal capacity, if you will. We're not paying for that, or we want our money back, or some. I don't know. I just wow.
This is going to revamp nursing education, and on part of this story too goes to something that a lot of people don't know about outside of nursing. Like, the reason people think that, well, a nursing school is hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. And the reason why it is, and the reason why you do not know, that you literally don't know if you're going to graduate as a nurse until you pass your last exam.
Wow.
It's basically because what they base it on, the reason why they put you out so quickly is because they have something called a first time pass rate that is tied directly to your accreditation. And the one thing that you should check as a student is your school's first time pass rate. That is public information. It is on your state's Board of Nursing website. Every school you go, any school you're interested in going to, go to the website, look at that school, make sure it's accredited #1, and look at their first time pass rate. Florida has the worst first time pass rate in the country. So that's why for this scam to originate in Florida is nothing new. Florida is just scammy, period. It's all kinds of things that go on in Florida. And in that same website, the NCSBN, in 2020, the national first time pass rate for U.S. educated nurses, RNs, was 86.8%. Florida, the first time pass rate was 68.8%. So that's a red flag. In 2021, the national average dropped. It's been dropping since 2019. Well, because of COVID. The national pass rate is 82.5%. Florida is 64.8%.
Wow.
And in 2022, Florida was 60.8%. So it's but it's these kinds of programs that are bringing down the average because if you
Right.
have so this is all tied to accreditation.
Right.
So these schools that have these questionable or borderline pass rates, they're going to start take snatching their accreditation, so they don't have to deal with this.
Or closing them down like they
Right.
did. Wow. So, but then therein lies another problem because then you won't have enough schools churning out the nurses, or yeah, for the facilities. And Florida is a huge um state that has the need for nursing, because it's a place where the especially with elderly, that's where they go. That's where they go once they retire, or even if they bounce back and forth. I can't think of the term that it is, but
Oh,
they'll
snowbirds.
snowbirds. They'll
Mhm.
go down there. Um, wow, interesting, interesting. Wow, I'm still I still feel compelled to find out. Well, what are the other organizations that um have nursing as part of their profession? What are they doing? What are their thoughts on it? What are they speaking on it?
In the HIM world, we need a HEMA to say something, and
Mm-hmm.
we need actists to say something.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be released, especially actists,
Especially actors.
because they act like being most of their credential holders are RNs, so they need to be making a statement like yesterday.
Yes. Yes. And so this is again one of those situations where you receive the license. You never ever had to be at a bedside, because you went straight to um an administrative type of position. So
And I know nurses who have never been to the bedside ever. They got their licenses and they work in case management.
mm-hmm.
They do all kinds of they so it's just this is going to be interesting and it's going to have a ripple effect for years to come.
Yeah, something we definitely have to keep on the radar. Definitely have to
Definitely.
keep on the radar. Ooh.
It's going to, I mean, I'm ready to I'm just sitting back waiting because I know cuz the first thing I thought about was HIM. And
Right.
I was like, because some of them were a little smart. They were like, you know what? Well, I might not know how to hang an IV, but I can learn how to code.
Exactly.
And I'm going to go over here where I don't have to
Exactly.
do anything other than just renew this license every 2 years and sit home and make this money.
Wow. That is interesting. And then they're not they're not federally prosecuting, but can their states prosecute
The states can, but they probably won't because this is what people got to be careful of. Because see, because there's some okey doke going on. Because see, what the nurses that they're prosecuting, that they're putting on the news as prosecuting, they have the title fake nurse, so people think that it's associated with this current scandal, but it's not. This operation is fairly new. It takes a long time to prosecute somebody.
them? It does.
So these people that they're exposing, like I shared with you, like the article where this woman is getting fined, is getting sentenced, and she had to pay back $700,000. See, she assumed the identity of a nurse.
Mm.
She didn't get a fake. She didn't have a fake license. So that's different. That's been going on forever. But I want to
And why don't
know.
they call that out? I mean, why is it their attention to those types of schemes as well?
Well, because those people have kind of they can kind of eventually find those kind of people
Okay.
because they usually get greedy and they get caught themselves because the I worked with the fake nurse in the 90s. I worked here in Philly at the prison system, at our prison system.
Mhm.
So she was working through an agency. She got greedy because we were at the county level. She wanted to go work at the state level, which is a whole different animal. See, the state does their own background check where they actually sent, the board actually had to send her picture. And that's when they realized she wasn't the same person because
Wow.
this woman was African American and the nurse's identity she'd assumed was a white woman.
Oh my God.
And of course the prison didn't prosecute her, they were just like, no, she can't work here. They're not going to go through. They're not going to take the time to
Right.
prosecute her. They
Right.
would because they caught it. No, she just can't come here. We're going to move on.
Right.
But it was up to nobody else, And then of course she didn't live in Pennsylvania. She lived out of state. So all you got to do is just hit it and just don't come back.
But do they share that nationally with somebody so she can't do that again? Or I mean, is she still out there in them streets?
That I don't know
Mm.
because well, because the thing is, well, it's kind of hard because she assumed the identity of an actual licensed person. So if you put the licensed person information out there, that's the wrong person. She can only be, if they find her, they can only prosecute her because she could go out. I mean, they're like John Smith. You know how many John Smiths there are? You just go somewhere, find another John Smith, and then you back at it again.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, this is going to be real interesting. Real interesting as it continues to develop. Mm.
But I'm just what I me personally, what I don't like is you're going to go through all this, but they're not going to be that this should be federal charges because when you start going through multiple states and all that, then that supersedes whatever the state's going to do. If you obtain a fake diploma in Florida and you were licensed in Pennsylvania, New York, or wherever, Delaware, and you're working, you should be federally prosecuted.
Because you made a choice. You
Exactly.
made a choice to, even though you had the school, they came and they recruited and they provided you with an option, you chose that option and then
That's right.
went and took it to and maximized on that.
And then there's even because another thing that happened and when I lived in Maryland, this was different. These people actually went to a school. They finished an accredited program, but they didn't take the boards themselves. They paid, it was over 600 nurses. They paid, I think, a couple people $600 a pop to take their NCLEX for them. But these people actually graduated from a program. So that program got shut down. And it was in DC. And Maryland did not accept anybody who had, I think, and anybody, they didn't know all the license of people who went there, but once they found out, they didn't accept any new people for licensure who had attended that school.
Wow. Wow. It's just wow.
But these are the things that the public doesn't know happens.
But then we're again at the mercy of the foolishness that happens.
That's right.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Good
Yeah.
morning. Good morning. That's bananas. I'm with you. I think there still should be some sort of process. Because then you're gonna, to your point, you're gonna expend all of these resources to go and individually find these potentially 2,800 folks, and then just what? Well, stop doing that, or what? I mean, you did it was a criminal act. So who? What?
Now, I'm sure there will probably be a couple states because I did hear about a case in Iowa where a nurse he is in the process of being um, uh, disciplined. So he did, as they say, he did his big one. he He went to school in Iowa, but he didn't. But he got put out of the program. So he obtained a fake LPN diploma first. Then a couple years later, he went back and got his RN. And he was a psych travel nurse. And they said, according to IRS documents, he made like last year, he made like $133,000. So,
Mm, wow. Then I'm thinking, so
oh, and one, oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
And one of the people in Georgia, one of the 22 in Georgia, she she has a nurse practitioner license. So that's really yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, Ebony Rose says fraudulent nurses scary. And she said they don't or that don't share it they don't share it nationally. She doesn't think. That's
No.
that's crazy. And so they need to tie up that loop because that's part of the problem.
Well, but it has to happen at the state level because now that since they have the multi-state compact, now it's easier for them to identify because once you get flagged in the system, then everybody sees it.
Everybody knows.
But you have to be flagged in the system. If you're not, then you just run through. You can do whatever.
Mm-mm-mm. So you have a lot of, not to say that they did, but folks using their nursing license to open up like home health agencies and all kinds of things. This is a mess, a mess,
It
mess.
is. It is. It is. And through it all, like there's nobody, like how can you tell the public what to look out for or how to protect themselves? You can't because you don't know. I really think that what would have to happen is they would have to, all these institutions, every institution will have to report their list of current nurses to the board, and the board will have to investigate beyond it from 2016 up
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Yeah,
That's the only way.
yeah. And if you are, and I would think they would do that because ultimately they're the ones that, to your point of if something happened to someone's relative and they sued them, they're suing the facility.
That's right.
Sometimes it gets down to the actual individual, but mainly it's the facility that they're suing. Wow. Yeah, she said just imagine how many of these nurses advance into leadership roles. Yep. Or advanced practice roles. Right. Or come on over here to health information. Go over into all the quality, case management, all of the things that they could potentially get into because they have flashed a nursing license.
You probably have coding managers, coding department heads who are fraudulent.
Mm. And for me, I mean, you tainted one thing, everything that you touched is tainted to me at that. I mean, at that point, like, wow, this is gonna be a
So
mess.
it's oh, but it really is. I but what I really think is going to happen, unfortunately, is like everything else in this country, it's the hot topic now, but
Today, it'll
eventually
be
it'll
old
be.
news
Mhm.
tomorrow.
And people then you say something 3 weeks from now, oh, that's still going on. you know, people forget way too quickly.
Mm. I wonder. I just. I wonder if you're a person that had a fraudulent, like what is going on in your head right now? Like, how are you scrambling, trying to figure out how to move in this world right now?
I
Wow.
mean, and you like everything else, like people get greedy because I'm thinking, okay, if you are going to be ballsy enough to do that, what is your exit plan? Like, you can't do this forever. Like, what are you thinking? Like, are you going to make this money and then get into real estate? So when the bottom falls out, hey, I have like 5 houses that are bringing me rental income. Let me just stop. So if and when they come, I could still be all right. But no. But I can safely say, with over 2,800 people running around, somebody has contributed to the untimely demise of somebody.
Oh,
I can
definitely.
guarantee that.
I believe that too. I believe that as well. I believe that. And I believe that other nurses know potentially somebody that might be part of that 1,200. Whether they're speaking up or saying anything is a whole other animal, but I believe some folks know. Either working with them or somebody done said something or whatever. Folks know. Somebody knows. When you see something, say something.
Oh,
Somebody knows. And I bet you, well, I was about to say, if they start doing like what is this called? We used to have here. When you would give information and tips for a fee or for whatever,
like whistleblowers.
I bet you folks will come out the woodwork, not even to the extent of a whole whistleblower, but like just a reward for information. You have some information, go $1,000 here. Here's $1,000 there. I don't know. It's bananas. Hold up, wait a minute, wait. We got a new angle. So Raquel said, do you think the race or ethnicity of the owners of these 3 Florida nursing programs is the reason why the story is getting so much media coverage? Has this happened before?
See, I didn't even know the ethnicity. So are they
Well, let's see.
what's their ethnicity, Raquel?
Hold up. Because in the DRG or DRG, in the Department of Justice report, it lists their, I mean, you can't go by name per se. However, you can make some assumptions. Is that the one I want? Is that the one I want? Yeah. So these people in Broward County, Florida, boy, they do everything in South Florida, don't they?
Don't they? Everything.
um, which is they were like, healthcare fraud is nothing new to South Florida, as many scammers see this as a way to earn easy though illegal money. It just amazes me the thought of going through all of that.
And they have fake Botox. They had a fake Botox scam in Florida. There's all kinds of things.
Let's see. They had some names. Defendant Stanton Witherspoon, Alfred Selou, Renee Bernadelle. Let's see. It was some more folks.
Oh, Raquel says the 3 suspects are Black identified Haitian Americans.
Okay. Well, possibly.
That's right.
But then you got but it's bigger. So they owned the school. And then I guess hired the folks to recruit. And then so on and so forth. Because they got the recruiters too.
Because I think I saw somewhere where this scheme, they made something like $100 million or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was something crazy.
And then the Texas people, they went everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And they putting them all on blast. Wow. But to her point, it starts at the school. Like, let's open up a school. And like how that conversation happens. Let's open up a school. On this side of the house, we doing things, I guess, right. But we got this back door. If you come through this back door, knock 3 times, come through the back door, we'll get you a recruiter to get you what you need. for
But
a price.
but but the interesting thing about it is this is not just unique to nursing. This we had there was a scandal in New York where this Asian American owned cosmetology school uh, in Chinatown was doing something similar. It was an accredited school, but it was uh, basically it was like a pay to play type thing,
Mm,
and people were obtaining cosmetology, esthetician, and nail licenses without actually having completed the program.
mm. So they burning up everybody's scalps without no kidding. Oh my God.
And the owner of the program, I think I heard she had passed away in jail from cancer.
Oh wow.
You know,
Oh wow. This happened again. This happened before in Virginia and Florida. I'm seeing. And they were because an undercover FBI agent went in and purchased the diploma from the school for $16,000.
wow, what year?
This is
Because I
20. Wait a minute. Hold up. This is in 2020.
oh okay.
Well, this one was in Maryland, where the FBI came in wearing a recording device, attended a test prep class. Um, oh wow, this is interesting. So it says, it's like, what are you most concerned about? He asked another student who was in there, and he was like, I'm afraid of killing the patient.
See,
Wow. But the person said that the owner did little to address his concern, the student's concern, before he moved on to the next topic. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I can't say this. Nawaku, Bangura, and Napoleon were charged with conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud, conspiracy to make false statements relating to healthcare matters, and making of false statements relating to healthcare matters. But they closed this school down as well. But this roughly 175 graduates of it was in Virginia nursing school, have applied to the Maryland Board of Nursing for nursing license between August 2012 and July 2019. Oh, but then it says since June 2018, no graduates of the Virginia Nursing School have been approved to practice in Maryland because those owners have failed to provide paperwork required of out-of-state applicants by Maryland regulators. Ooh, but in the Florida school, they backdated transcripts. Oh God.
now that's interesting because like the Maryland situation I was talking about, that was like two 2002.
Mm-mm.
So that's what I'm talking. Like it's been going on,
It's
but
been going
this is I
on.
think the first time it's like this wide scale, like because like 7,600 people, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
But look, I know the people who didn't pass the license exam and go through with it. I know they're wiping their brow today.
Like
Yeah,
I
look,
did
I just spent that money for nothing. But look, I'm out of
it.
it.
It says this is not a new problem. This is just the most media coverage we've really had of this problem. She also said, however, the OIG is looking at the recruiters and fake students as guilty as well, as many of the students knew full well that they didn't have clinical learning. But if they're not going to prosecute them, I mean, what's the end game? Somebody should prosecute somebody. I mean, because taking away a license that you never really earned in the first place, I mean, it's like, oh well, I hit a lick and I'm on to the next one.
We're going to see. I'm just interested how this is just going to play out. Period. I really am, and we'll have to dig into it because they're going to stop talking about it because they always do.
They do. And so with the to Raquel's point, with the mention of the racial makeup of the schools, what are the racial makeup of these students as well?
That's interesting.
That'll be interesting as well. Yeah.
Well, I don't have any actors. I'm not even a member, but I definitely am going on AHIMA's Facebook, LinkedIn page and asking them they need to weigh in because we know I can guarantee somewhere in HIM is a fake nurse.
In Florida. No, I'm kidding, but anywhere.
Maybe even at AHIMA headquarters. You never know.
Oh, Lord, let me grab my tea. Jesus. True. They love those partnerships. They love those partnerships. So hopefully there will be some partnership in making sure that we are that it's rectified, not only in the clinical side of the house, but also in the administrative side of the house. That is so true. Because look, they didn't gate kept and block folks from all kinds of stuff, and you fraudulent.
That's right.
Wow. She said, did you see?
Yes.
Did you see the other story where the fake nurse was sentenced to 51 years and has to pay $700,000? Wow. That's the one that stole the identity?
Yeah.
Now that's egregious. Just egregious. Wow. A degree in blue ball point. Wow. Like, here you go. Interesting. Well, I appreciate you because you broke it here last week because I was like, wait a minute, what? Who? And then every day, little by little, stuff that's been coming out all week regarding this travesty, if you will, of sorts, because
Nurse TikTok has just been funny. It's just been hilarious because this is like fodder for them. Like it's like every day, it's like everybody's coming forward with these videos. It's funny. Then you know how like on Facebook you can mark your status. You know, like because during times like if there's a shooting, you can mark yourself safe.
It's safe.
Yeah, people were doing that, marking themselves safe from having fake degrees. It was funny.
Oh God, that is so true. He's like, yeah, your Cody knows is not lying because it would make sense for people to add letters to their name to increase their pay and credibility. Exactly, and they would, and to get those potential positions, higher positions, and keeping folks out. Because if they're looking specifically for, if their ideal person is a person that has a nursing license, they're gonna go try for the ideal.
Because there's somebody else who's, I guarantee there's somebody in there who did it, and they told their friends.
I said, if you know somebody,
exactly.
knows somebody to know somebody that knows something about it.
Come on over here. You ain't got to worry about clinical. You don't even have to touch the patient, but you can just use those credentials to get you. Look, you can make this much money. I guarantee it.
It's gonna be interesting to see. I did not know about them not that just. I feel some kind of way about them not prosecuting them.
No, they said that though the government, the Fed said that from the beginning that well, first of all, it's too many people,
Well,
and
maybe
they
it should be
got.
a state thing or
I
somebody.
I agree. I agree. It should be on the state level. I think that truthfully, I think Florida should do it because they were. That's why they got their fake diploma.
And they
So
extradite all them people so back to
that's right.
Florida.
Back to Florida for prosecution.
well, well, maybe that's where it should lie. I mean, I don't think it should be something that's be like, okay, well, we don't put it out here, and we're looking for you, and if you be so kind to surrender your license, we would appreciate you. It's like, what is that? What is that?
Because public safety doesn't stop at exposure,
No, not at all.
but that's how they're trying to sell it.
Not at all. It feel kind of Tuskegee experiment to me. I don't know.
Well, we're about to see. We
Mm,
really are.
Jesus. Well, this has been a good day. This has
It
been a
has
good
been.
day. Look at you bringing the news. I love it. Oh, what was your song for the week?
Money, money, the OJs. Money, 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 money.
Money, 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 money. And uh wait a minute, who did the remix? Levert and them did the remix. I'm thinking of New Jack City when they
Really?
did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
be, be, because I love that song by the OJs because that's the theme song to Greed on CNBC.
Is
I
it?
love it.
Oh my God. That's what's up. Wow. See, yeah, he's gonna bring us a song every week or when we come on. Cool. Yeah, and I do believe that the lawsuits are coming. At some point, yes. Either these institutions or organizations gonna sue Florida or the people gonna sue these institutions. It's gonna stuff gonna trickle. And maybe at that point then some things will happen. It's gonna be interesting to watch the developments at the end of the day.
Well, I tell you where it's not the place to be. A salaried employee at the Florida Board of Nursing because you working overtime and you ain't getting no money because they working them to the bone right about now.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. Well, and probably in those other four states as well, but
Yeah.
particularly Florida because that's where it originated. Yay. So she said good tea was spilled today. Thank you. Thank you. I was going to ask, was the tea spilled today? And it was. It was.
That's right.
It was a great time had by, I believe.
Yeah.
So
So
again, go ahead.
from now on, side eye all your nurse friends.
Especially recently. You
That's
just got
right.
your license for real? What school did
That's
you go to?
right.
I don't
Uh,
remember seeing you sweating and mention anything about a test or anything. What is happening? Well, wait a minute. Now all of a sudden you a nurse? Well, what? Well, when did this happen? Well, people just coming out the woodwork. Girl, yeah, I'm a nurse now. Well, really? Well, what? Sometimes you gotta just sit back and listen to folks. Sit back and listen to folks. Like, yeah, let me write this down because when they start talking about we got some money for folks when they don't easily surrender, we got some money if you know something. Yeah,
well,
Crime
before
Stoppers. That's what I'm thinking. There was Crime
oh,
Stoppers
okay,
here, and they
okay.
would give a
Well,
little money on that.
well, before we go, I was talking about Black History Month. You can't we just can't end without you talking about Kente.
Yeah. I have my red, black, green. We actually have. Oh, what is it? There's a meeting here locally. Um, it's a national day. I can't think of it. Look, I wasn't prepared to go, but I was gonna support with my. I was gonna support. It was a national day of something. Hold on, let me find it. They've been talking about it all week. They're having these programs, And they're gonna, well, here locally, and they're talking about things from a lot of public health things, housing, mental health, policing, all of the things that have been going on and happening in the community. I can't find it. Wait, let me go to this one more site and see, because I know they would have it. So that's why I decided to come on, put on my little kente cloth.
Okay.
Celebrate Black history. Okay, I can't find it. I'm not going to the right people. They're not showing up. I guess if I went to events, maybe that would be it. The place to go. Events. Okay, well, I don't know, but there's I know it's at a local church, New Prospect Baptist Church. Starts at noon, and they're having all of these discussions around these various areas. But there's a certain name. There's the name. It was a national day of something, and I don't know if that's. I'm assuming that it's nationally that the people are doing this or gathering and collaborating, but who knows? People could just be throwing a national day of whatever around anything. But anyway, so I wanted to wear my kente cloth, even though you hit us with the Black History fact for the month. I love that with the nurses. That was fabulous. Not only here for those of us in the States, but also in the Caribbean. That was the bomb. The bomb.com.
Thank you.
It's like happy Black History Month. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, we have to talk about our heroes because
We
other people
do.
don't.
We do, because we are here on the backs of all of their
All of them.
labor
That's right.
and work and all of the thing. We are definitely here for that. I love it. I love it though. Because I I used to be like, I'm so tired of hearing about the same folks all the time. I know it's somebody else. There are plenty of other folks. Let's talk about them as well. So yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
And one more, the last little Black history note. Like I did Ancestry years ago, and I found a cousin found me. I had heard of her, known of her, but I hadn't seen her, heard from any of them in years. Come to find out, I am a descendant of one of the Buffalo Soldiers.
Well, look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So do y'all get together, or do y'all?
We still keep in touch. And actually, I found out that there's a monument to my descendant in Massachusetts.
Mm. Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, all right, all right. Well, this was a great, great session. Thank you all for joining us on the Saturday morning tea. Now, we will be on vacation. We'll come back on. Let's see. I'll be back on the 18th, but there is no way that I'm gonna do a show on the 18th. So we'll be back on the 26th. So we'll be gone for 2 weeks. So we'll be back on the 26th. So we'll start Black History Month and we'll end Black History Month. How about that? Okay.
So when we come back, we have to have one more Black History fact.
Exactly.
So we have to find somebody Black in HIM.
We will.
I'll do the research.
There you go. Look at you. Look at you. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. So we already have mentioned that the tea was spilled today. Thank you, Mr. Jesse, for your segment. I loved it. It was fabulous. See, look at you. You put your mind to it. Look where you're going. So if this information was valuable for you, and helpful for you, help us share this message with others by liking the video, sharing the video, and subscribing to the channel, Professional Reimbursement Network. You can also check out the Coding Nurse channel on YouTube as well. There's a lot of gems over there. You know, if he's bringing stuff over here, he definitely putting stuff over there. Last but not least, to my Clubhouse folks, make sure you click on the greenhouse to join in the fun on our club. And then you will also be notified when we go live on Saturday mornings, typically 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But remember, we will be breaking for 2 weeks. So again, this has been a great session today. Thank you all so much for joining. And remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, be safe and take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.